With clinical intelligence, it is easy for you to train your staff, pharmacists, pharmacy assistants, on how to run point-of-care tests like HIV tests, typhoid tests, hepatitis tests, malaria tests, PCV, cholesterol, and so many others. And it promises to give you good profit once implemented, and you'd no longer have to worry yourself about training anybody on how to conduct a wide range of point-of-care tests in your pharmacy. Okay, guys, let me give you a quick highlights of Registrar's February 2022 updates from the registry. So that's the Pharmacists Council of Nigeria registry. It's customary for the registrar to issue a bulletin every month, usually the very first day of the month, where pharmacists are updated on activities of the council and whatever affects them. Of course, our registrar is Farm N.A.A. Mohammed. Okay, so I decided to start this series analyzing the registrar's bulletin or updates because I noticed the contents of the bulletin itself is not usually debated or commented on or properly engaged by pharmacists. Perhaps because perhaps many see commenting or engaging the contents as I don't know, maybe something they shouldn't do. But we can't move forward if ideas are not properly engaged. So in this particular update, there are so many interesting things. One of the interesting things to me, in fact the most interesting, is what I call like Nscdc and Honorable Shina Pella, like the PCN and pharmacists. So if you've been following news updates, you realize the Nscdc, that's Nigerian Civil Defense, they withdrew their security detail from Honorable Shina Pella. Of course, we people know why, because Shina Pella is pushing a bill that, if passed, will lead to the dissolution of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, called Nscdc. Okay, some say the organization is not really important. They should merge it with the police or merge it with another security agency of the government, which of course wouldn't go down well with their controller general. So a letter was served on Honorable Shina Abiola Pella. You can see that on the screen. But the excuse they gave is that the commandant general is trying to increase the personnel the commandant is trying to deploy their own personnel for an urgent national security assignment, and so they wouldn't be available to render services to the honorable. But of course, there's no agency of government or government itself will not really come out in writing to say their real intention. They will just attach whatever they are doing to something that is legal, or perhaps should I say sensible or commonsensical, just to hide their motive. So, but of course, the reason is apparent. So, I believe in the same vein, the increment in the um, letter of good standing by the Pharmacists Council has been stated to be due to the rise in associated costs of processing the letters. But pharmacists who want to, leave the country to go to Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, United States, I'm sure these are the leading destinations for pharmacists who wish to practice abroad. But they now have to pay no longer 30,000 to get this letter, which of course is on A4 paper, but they now have to pay more than times three, 100,000 naira, which is 70k extra. Well, for me, and of course I know for many others, there is no rise in associated costs that would justify a 70,000 naira addition to what the fee was, which was 30k. And well, the cost of things are costs of things are going up. Of course, there's inflation and all of that. But this jump, well, but traveling abroad is appealing to a lot of pharmacists for obvious reasons. So, and you can't even stop anybody from doing that. So, but then I'm sure it's because the demand continues to rise. People are always making requests for these letters of good standing. And of course, the assumption is that, well, it could be a source of additional revenue for the registry, fine. And anybody who even wants to leave the country wouldn't mind to pay 100k. But then I believe it could put more burden on a lot of young pharmacists who are saving up to explore the world and to go out there to live their dream. So, and of course, we all complain whenever government increases the price of fuel. And I don't think at any point in time the government has more than tripled the current price of petrol to arrive at a new price. Of course, everybody will go out there to protest. So, so that's interesting to me. Then the other issues are there is the current year registration. Pharmacists have been given, and of course other stakeholders, till the end of first quarter before they will pay a fine for late registration. That is 50% more than what they should pay. And also for the pre-registration examination for pharmacists, PEP, I think this was started a few years ago to improve. Should we say improve? Because ordinarily, a pharmacist inducted by the PCN will have graduated from an accredited institution. But I think the examination was introduced as another layer of control to assure quality. Because at a point, I think some people were complaining about the quality of pharmacists. Some of them don't know this, don't know that, these young pharmacists, so they have to bring this up. So the first cycle has been slated to hold on March 19, 2022. So those concerned should take note of that. And candidates who wish to register for the exam have been advised to make use of the PEP portal for such on or before 7th of March 2022. So you don't have to wait for the deadline to pass. So you have to do what you have to do right away. Uh, then, talking about the graduating or recently graduated pharmacist, um, Obafemi Awolowo University, University of Jos, the two institutions have turned out a total of 176 pharmacy graduates. So they are welcomed by the registrar into the noble profession, which is a good one. So I remember my set in UI, we were 29. So, but now there are more pharmacy schools, more pharmacy graduates. Just that brain drain may not allow the country called Nigeria to enjoy the dividends of that. And perhaps why the registry has been incentivized to raise the fee for the issuance of letters of good standing from 30,000 naira to 100,000 naira. Now let's move on to the Foreign Pharmacist Graduate Orientation Program, FPGOP. It has been slated to hold from 24th of April to 5th of June 2022. So there are various centers in the country: Kaduna State University, that's for the Northern Center, University of Lagos for the Southern Center, and so those concerned will have to make their way there. And registration closes April 11th. April 11th. That's about 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks to the start of the FPGOP. So you have to take note of that. Late registration or submission of documents may be allowed from 12th to 17th, 2022, but will attract a fine of 10% of the total fee. So I'm quoting the publication verbatim. Okay. Then after 18th of April, registration will not be acceptable. Of course, for obvious reasons, there will not be enough time to process these things. Okay, so what else? What else is interesting? The PCN. Well, I think this is a good one. They have been awarded the ISO, that's International Standards Organization 9001-2015 certification by NECA Global Certification Limited. So this has to do with compliance with standard principles of accounting, I believe, whereby an agency or organization is subjected to, their records, excuse me, auditors have to go through their record to see if they follow due process, if they keep receipts in the right format and all of that. It suggests also a level of transparency. So that's a good one. Also the registrar is commending pharmacists for their hard work and various interventions geared towards containing the fourth wave of the COVID-19 pandemic. I think pharmacists still have more to do when it comes to COVID-19, and we can only hope that the requests the organization is making, or the ideas they are giving the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, will be properly accepted and executed. Okay, so The registrar runs off by saying that he welcomes, or the PCN welcomes suggestions, complaints, blah, 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 to improve their service delivery towards ensuring the provision of quality pharmaceutical services for sustainable healthcare delivery in Nigeria. Well, agencies of government and big grammar, multisyllabic words. Okay, so that's just a way of signing off and telling you that you can always engage the registry for whatever reason, especially towards improving their service delivery. So that's all I have for you on the PCN Registrar's February 2022 update. So you can always watch out for my comments on future updates from the registry. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel where I discuss pharmacy related issues. And not just that, of course, I release videos on retail pharmacy business and business generally, and also on health information. So you can watch my other videos. I've talked about malaria test negative and what you could do. It's something that confuses a lot of people, a lot of pharmacists, doctors, even patients, when they present with all the symptoms of malaria, but their test result is saying negative. So I also include what to do in that situation. So I've released one also on how to differentiate between ulcer and typhoid. So I want to create a lot of resources for pharmacists and business owners to give their staff to give people a source of information that they can always rely on for training and maybe for entertainment. So thank you for listening.